Welcome back to a new season of Dismantling Injustice powered by Envision Freedom. This episode is going to deviate a bit from our traditional thematic focus because we wanted to take the opportunity to reintroduce ourselves, especially as we just celebrated our 2-year anniversary as Envision Freedom, our new name. And we want to discuss the motivating forces and the theory of change behind our work. We'll touch on some of the things we're working on now and what we're planning for the rest of the year. And joining me today to help me do this is my colleague Zoe Adele Perry, who's our longest tenured team member. She has seen it all.
Thank you for having me back on the show, Julie.
It's always a pleasure to get to chat with you. Zoe, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, so I think it's helpful to start with the basics. Who is Envision Freedom? We've evolved a lot for an organization that only began in 2015, but I think two things have always been constant. The first is our core mission, and that's to dismantle the oppressive and interconnected criminal, legal, and immigration systems. And then the other constant is that we strive to center the experiences, demands, and self-identified needs of people who have been targeted by these systems. And that includes members of our own staff. And so the evolution of Envision Freedom has really been about adapting our strategies to meet the political, economic, and cultural climates we find ourselves in. So right now, the strategies we're prioritizing are paying immigration bond to help people regain their physical freedom, leading research and public education initiatives to better inform the public about the injustices of the criminal, legal, and immigration systems, and building community power to collectively demand long-term changes that benefit all of us.
Exactly. And, there are a lot of organizations who are working on some of the issues that we're working on. And, we work in collaboration with a lot of different people and organizations. But I just want to highlight a few of the ways that our work at Envision Freedom is unique and necessary. So first, we're one of the few organizations nationwide working actively to dismantle both the immigration and criminal legal systems. And we not only work on issues related to detention and deportations, but we also work to eliminate cash bail and hold prosecutors and judges accountable. Second, we operate one of the largest immigration bond funds in the country, and we're the only bond fund currently operating in the tri-state area.
And Julie, if I could interject for a second, just for our listeners who might not be familiar with the term bond fund, or in the criminal legal context, bail fund, can you just briefly explain what bond funds are?
Yeah, good call. A bond fund is an entity that pays to secure the freedom of individuals who've been granted bond by an immigration judge. You may also hear the term bail fund. For us, the distinction is bond is something that we pay in the immigration system, and bail is something that we connect with the criminal legal system. And we pay bond to free people from immigration detention. But of course, paying bond is always just the beginning. Once we're able to free people from detention, we provide a range of services like emergency funds, transportation from detention and also to court dates, legal referrals, court reminders, and a really strong peer community for support. And lastly, we're the only organization in the New York area that's committed to organizing and developing the leadership of individuals who are recently detained.
So as I'm sure you can see, dismantling these systems is really complex with a lot of moving parts. And to distill those moving parts, last year, we partnered with an amazing group of Pratt students to create an animated video about our work. So we'll drop that link to our YouTube channel in the show notes so you can watch it. And that video does a great job of synthesizing Envision Freedom in a really clear, accessible way.
Yeah, I agree. It was amazing working on that project. Okay, when we come back, we'll discuss some of the strategies Envision Freedom and groups like ours are using to make change. Charm Bar and Restaurant is a Caribbean and American fusion restaurant located in the Park Slope area of Brooklyn, New York. Their cuisine embraces influence and inspiration from Haiti, Jamaica, Trinidad, and many other Caribbean islands. Their menu also highlights several vegan options and signature cocktails curated using the finest and freshest ingredients. This past year, Charm has been featured by Forbes, Ebony, Chase Sapphire, and Black Restaurant Week. And they sponsored Envision Freedom's office warming with a delicious selection from their menu. Dine with them at 448 Dean Street in Brooklyn, adjacent to the Barclays Center, and follow them on Instagram at CharmBarBK. Now that we've talked a little bit about who we are, we want to talk about how we do it. Our ultimate goal at Envision Freedom is freedom for all. And unfortunately, the immigration and criminal legal systems are set up to punish, oppress, and just exert violence over Black and immigrant communities, youth, queer and trans folks, and so many others. And, this is why we're working to dismantle these systems. And for us, this starts with abolishing, or I guess really ends with abolishing pretrial and immigration detention.
And we get to that end point, that ultimate goal, in a number of ways. So one, we organize and develop the leadership of people directly impacted by detention. We partner with grassroots organizations, advocacy groups, academia, attorneys, and others to advocate for legislative change. We also work to shift the public narrative around detention, incarceration, and safety. We work to hold system stakeholders, including prosecutors, judges, and government agencies accountable through advocacy, research, public education, and litigation. And as Julie mentioned earlier, we pay immigration bond and provide critical support for individuals post-release.
Yeah, I mean, we're using a lot of different strategies to move the needle to get us closer to freedom. We're going to take another short break, and when we come back, we'll talk about sort of the political and cultural atmosphere we're operating in and why our work is more essential than ever, and just give some updates about what folks can look forward to as we close out 2023.
Looking for a movement experience that's safe and sustainable? Body Art Studios is passionate about helping people create a sustainable relationship with healthy movement. Envision Freedom was proud to partner with Body Art last fall for a special wellness event for our community members, many of whom are still recovering from the traumas of detention. Body Art's gentle, effective training sessions are the perfect way to prevent injuries, reduce joint pain, and improve your overall quality of life without aggressive or abusive fitness workouts. Body Art will enhance your movement and elevate your life. So what are you waiting for? Experience the difference for yourself at Body Art Studios. Text SCHEDULE to 917-810-3075 or follow them on Instagram at bodyart.nyc. Body Art Studios. Enhance movement, elevate life.
As Julie mentioned before the break, our work to dismantle the criminal, legal, and immigration systems is becoming increasingly more urgent. In just 3 years, and after reaching record lows in 2020, the pretrial jail population has increased by about 2,000 people. There are now over 35,000 people in ICE detention, the highest number under the Biden administration. Since New York City's mayor, Eric Adams, took office in 2022, at least 28 incarcerated people have died in city jails. Since Biden took office, at least 11 people have died in ICE detention. And more recently, the fiscal year 2024 New York City budget passed with $2 billion in additional funding for the NYPD. And just a few weeks ago, the Biden administration requested an additional $2.5 billion for ICE.
$1 billion. Crazy. And against that backdrop, we're also dealing with ever-changing situations, including protests against recently arrived migrants in New York, a right to shelter crisis, a strong campaign to close dangerous and inhumane immigration facilities like in Elizabeth, New Jersey, which is a privately owned immigration detention center that New Jersey voted to close and the Biden administration is trying to keep open. And also the Orange County Correctional Facility in Goshen, New York, which is a county jail that contracts with ICE to jail immigrants and is facing lawsuits about the abusive treatment people have experienced there. We're also looking at, just the ongoing work of police, prosecutors, and judges to criminalize people of color, and the many ways we see and experience violence in our local and global communities, whether that be interpersonal violence, the, impact of vigilante, quote unquote, justice, mass shootings, and genocide. We're seeing violence across the spectrum. And we'll be diving deeper into some of these ongoing issues throughout this season on the podcast, just pulling on, the threads that connect the struggle for freedom and justice across issues, race, gender, and borders.
So with all of that, Julie, should we end on some good news maybe?
Yes. Our leader, Carl, our executive director, always tells me the importance of ending on hope. So I do want to say, building collective power is one of the things that we talked about earlier, is really important to confront the harms of the immigration and criminal legal systems. And we're thrilled to announce the launch of our new community membership program. A member is someone who has been directly impacted by the criminal legal or immigration systems, or someone who is a family, friend, or loved one to someone who has been directly impacted by those systems. And, in addition to possessing certainly individual talents, our community members have, wisdom and expertise and perspective that's key for all of us to envision a world without the harms they have faced firsthand, and that harm our society at large. And it's really important to amplify the leadership and power of our members individually and collectively so that we can achieve long-term transformative change. And, if this sort of definition of member sounds like you can reach out to our community organizing and advocacy manager, Anna Christina, or ACF as we call her. We will add her email address to the show notes so that you can get in touch if you want to become a member. We're really looking forward to growing this program and really developing a strong community of peer supporters and just really committed advocates for demanding change.
And I'm also really excited to announce that we have 2 upcoming opportunities for folks to engage with us and our work in person. I'm personally very excited about these upcoming events. So the first opportunity will be at our Envision Safety event on the evening of November 28th at City College in Manhattan. And this will be an engaging community discussion about a new vision for public safety in New York. Very excited about that. And then the second will be at our Winter Luminary celebration on December 6th at Threes Brewing in Brooklyn. And this will be a fundraiser to celebrate our work and recognize some of the leaders in our new community membership.
Yes, folks should join our mailing list. Go to envisionfreedom.org and follow us on social, as we'll be sending out invitations and more information about these events soon, and you won't want to miss out. In the meantime, listeners, you can let us know how we're doing by rating and reviewing the podcast wherever you listen. Like, subscribe, and share. And until next time.
Thanks again for joining us. Dismantling Injustice is brought to you by Envision Freedom Fund, an organization that works to transform the immigration and criminal legal systems while meeting the critical needs of individuals impacted by these systems daily. To learn more about our work and donate, visit us at envisionfreedom.org. That's envisionfreedom.org. Dismantling Injustice was created by Sally Israel. Our executive producer is Abigail Wolf. Special thanks to the team at Envision Freedom for being amazing. Until we're all free, peace out.